Cincinnati, we gon' rise and in the jungle, we unite and tripping orange and black and white. All day when we fight, live and die in these stripes. Now who gotta move rockin' on? Now who wanna move crossing on? Now who wanna move bottom? If you got stripes, then you let the city know you rock 'em. Yeah, we got 'em. Yeah, we fought 'em. Like that black and orange up on 'em. Single bottle, never stop it. To the beast and on 'em. Who they rockin' with the diamond stripes? Flossin' on the ring. Cincinnati, she's our queen. We gon' show the world who king. Orange in the day, black in the night. Stripes in our veins, sparks gonna fly. The beast is awake, orange, black and white. Cause when the jungle come alive, who day we ignite and
Welcome to Bengals and Brews.
What's up?
Greg, you can try to be positive all you want down there, Greg. And then Pork Chop, I like your vibe that you're going with. The brown bag
We're
over
back.
your head.
We're
back.
fucking back.
Oh,
Hey,
man.
90s, we're back. Fuck it.
We got Joe Burrow at quarterback. You can't blame him. Now, we are still struggling in the red zone. Like,
Dale,
it's
the
a problem,
window.
man. Everything is so tough in the red zone for us, and I hate that. And then on defense, you couldn't get not one single stop. They held them to a field goal once. Every other time was a touchdown except for the 2 kneel downs because game was over and halftime.
It was a lot of fun to be at. It was so great. Was not draining at all, especially if you're sitting right next to some fucking woman who was nice as hell, but she was a fucking Commanders fan. And she was so nice. I tell
you already cussed. You 10 minutes for me.
Oh, shoot. Wait. Start now, Mia.
Oh,
I'm sorry. Let's talk about our sponsors real quick because one of them I'm going to talk about is Midwest Best Barbecue. Let's get that out of the way. And 50 West and then the shirt shop, all right? My Chop Shop 513. Let's talk about that. Now, Mia, I apologize. Don't cut me off. All right? Tim and Nicole have the cutest little daughter named Mia. And they were listening to the podcast, and she walked in the room and heard my mouth going off and looked at Tim and said, cut him off, Dad, cut him off. So I told her, this timer starts now. We're at 2 minutes and 45 seconds into the show. So, Mia, for the next 10 minutes, you got good Uncle Chop.
Yeah, we'll see if you can make it 10 minutes.
After that 10 minutes, I'm going to make up for every cuss word I missed.
We're about the 3-minute mark, so we'll see how many times by the time we get to 13 minutes.
What do we need? 12:45. Let me watch that timer. Ready? All right. Here comes my Christian mouth around my mother. This is how I talk around my mom. Go ahead, Dale.
Oh, I don't know. You guys were at the game, so we'll just start. I guess you could talk about your weekend. You know, maybe you can be positive with that, hanging out with Corey.
The weekend
the Reds game
was awesome. Corey just landed back in L.A. and I saw him on Twitter, so I sent him a message like, dude, the game was horrible. It was terrible. It was draining, but I had such a good weekend. You know what? I'm glad it was a Monday night game because it didn't ruin my weekend. I mean, Corey came to town. We went out with him to the Ring of Honor dinner. That was, dude, I was a VIP. I've never been a VIP. Even when I worked in radio, I don't think I ever went anywhere where they gave me a VIP pass. So to go up there, and you go up there and the top level, like all the peasants and the common folk are down at the tables, and you go upstairs and you go up there and you're like, oh, hey, Mr. Munoz, how you doing? Mr. Anderson, Mr. Hushmanzada, you know, all these like Bengal players are up there and you're like rubbing elbows and eating fancy cheese and fancy meats on fancy crackers and drinking fancy drinks for free. And then they bring out fancy cannolis for dessert. Dude, I was looking for the foot rub section because you were taken care of up there. I felt like a princess. It was a great weekend. Then we go, well, Greg didn't because of language I can't use right now because of Mia. I will not say what Greg did, but we went golfing, and that was super great too, man. That was a lot of fun. Like, that's hanging out with everybody for a good 4 or 5 hours, rolling around the golf course in a golf cart, you know, peeing in the woods, drinking some alcohol in a responsible manner, Mia. That's what we do. We were very responsible. and it was a lot of fun. It was a blast. And then we
Greg,
went to Midwest, and then we went to Midwest Best.
Okay.
That's where Mia got on me about the language.
That's fair. And Midwest is always awesome. I know they catered for the tailgate along with condados and stuff this week. So awesome food as always, man. They're great people. It's a great place. I know most of you have already tried Midwest Best Barbecue, but if you haven't tried it and you're thinking about it, go try it. Tim, Nicole, awesome people, man. Food's amazing. You won't regret going there for sure. Greg, there was one thing that you did that Chop didn't along with that whole weekend, and that was the Reds game. Corey throwing out the first pitch. Tell me about that.
I tell you what, just unbelievable experience. Going on the Reds field, 37 years old and didn't think it was ever going to happen, and it was just Corey was just so excited about the first pitch. And as a lot of Corey used to play baseball, and I could show. Oh boy, could I tell him! I got a good video of it right in the field. It was like right down the pipe. He was just so happy to be there.
Corey was drafted.
Yes, he was drafted by the Padres.
Major League Baseball by the San Diego Padres.
Yeah, that was just so cool to see, and at the event, like Chop said, me and James were talking to each other in the VIP section. Like Chop said, there's Munoz, Solomon Wilcox, TJ Hushmanzada. All these great players there. Him and I are looking at each other like, what the hell are we doing here? And we're like,
Greg, no cussing.
Oh,
yeah, it's for Mia, Greg. Cut him off, Mia. Gosh. Cut Greg off. Uncle Greg is
How's Greg going to be the one that runs it? With the two of us on here. Greg.
Yeah.
Well, what the? No. On regular shows,
pretend like you're talking to Sally.
No. On regular shows, you hear what the heck and all that and stuff. I know I said the other one, but yeah.
What is this? Man, my cursing is being tested right now.
Yeah, this guy's on a cruise.
I don't know if you can notice or not, but I am gambling my sorrows away right now.
Are you on a boat?
I'm in the casino.
He's on a boat, y'all.
I'm on a boat.
He's on a boat, but he's gambling as always, so you got to love it.
Like the only time that
definitely
Derek
his favorite thing on the boat.
The only time Derek can join our show live without just like the blank screen and Noseroid is when he's on a cruise.
Hey, you'll have to ask Crypt Keeper. I got a little tint to me now, right?
I think it's just the lighting in the boat.
Oh, that's what it is?
Yeah.
I don't look like Casper's dick anymore.
No, you look...
See, another one.
See, you ruined it, man.
This
We're
10
being
minutes
good.
for me is just impossible. Greg said the H word. Derek says the
Mia,
D word.
It's not me, Mia.
Sorry.
It's not Uncle Chop doing the
tried.
cursing. Cut Derek off. Cut Greg off. Me and Dale, we're just going to have to do this for Mia. There's no cursing.
That's why I haven't really started talking too much Bengals yet. I'm trying to get
until the
through
13-minute mark. There's no cursing. We're doing this for Mia. Tim,
I personally didn't think I cursed because I've seen it on kids shows. They've used that word or whatever.
It counts as a curse word. Well, ask
would
Mia
your mom
next
be
time you're
happy
up
about you saying that word?
No, but that's just
boom. There you go.
My mom's not happy about a lot of other words.
That word is not Mia from Midwest Best Barbecue and Creamery approved, Greg. So leave it out the show for the first 10 minutes. The first 10 minutes of our show is dedicated to Mia.
We love you, Mia.
Yes, we do. But anyway, when one of the time I told TJ when we were up in that VIP, I said, hey, your boy Maine that you coached. I said, I got a lot of confidence in him. I said, I took him for 2 touchdowns. And he goes like, this is what TJ did. He looked at me like this. He went, they ain't playing him, right? And I was like, man, I got a good feeling. Like Jamar Chase said good things about him. Joe Burrow said good things about him. And he was like, yeah, they did talk him, but they ain't playing him. And he said, T. Higgins is back, right?
He got 3 snaps, Chop.
I know.
He got him for 2 touchdowns. He barely got that many snaps in the game.
Well, I did not win that bet. And then both my bets, I took the Bengals covering the spread. And so that dream was gone at halftime.
Speaking of betting, I think it's a solid deal from now on. Just bet Yoshi anytime touchdown.
No kidding. He's got one every game, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He's the best player on our team.
Did he have one the first week?
Yeah, I think he did. Against New England, didn't he
have
have the only one, right?
Greg, you're muted. Greg's talking away.
No, that's right. Yeah, he didn't get one week 1. That's right.
Oh, okay.
Well,
he got 2 the next week, right? Against
Well, that touchdown he had yesterday, I think that could be. It was close, wasn't it? He was very
it
close.
was basically at the very end. It barely crosses the line, like when his arm moves. So initially, he was short.
Oh wow!
It was like when he turned just a little bit, it barely got in. So, and I mean, there was some throws that Joe was a touch off on. That one being one of them. It shouldn't have been that difficult. And Yoshi made another catch behind him. And the tee that was a little too high. But overall, I can't complain about Joe Burrow putting up over 300 yards.
No.
3 touchdowns. The offense didn't have a punt either. You missed a field goal. That hurt us. Evan's second miss inside of 50 yards, one being a field goal, one being the extra point last week. Those have both come back to bite us during those games. Got to get that fixed up. Man, just a very frustrating loss to have that kind of offensive performance, but you couldn't get one stop. And I know we've got defensive tackles that are injured, this, that, and the other. But when Rankins was playing and Hill was in here the first week, there were some struggles. We couldn't stop the run. People are not making tackles in the open field. We're not getting pressure. If it's not Trey, it's no one. And Trey didn't have his best game yesterday.
No.
So it's very frustrating because it's like you stopped the run a little better yesterday, but they throw the ball all over you whenever they want. And Jaden Daniels had like 91% completion percentage or some rookie record, and you didn't stop him a single time. It's brutal. We'll get into some of the PFF grades, some of the stats, but I'm a little bit at a loss for words.
Okay, I am a homer. All right, but I told you Jaden Daniels is him, man. Jaden Daniels is good, but I'm just like struggling. Like, now, how much of that was Jaden Daniels and how much of that was what time are we at? Oh, we still got a minute at our poor defense. I'm looking at the time. I got another minute.
Very difficult for you, isn't it?
I got another minute. Get ready to cut me off, Mia, because time's running out. We got 45 seconds left until we go nuclear.
Dustin here with a super chat. Appreciate you, brother.
Yes, sir.
Front office now struggling in free agency. Brown gone. Stone, meh. I got to agree with that. Stone has not been it.
Nope.
His coverage grade was terrible. I think I got it right here. Yeah, it was 30. No, that's Von Bell. 41.9. Awful, and that's what he's known for is his coverage, right? And it's like, and then Von Bell, beside his partner beside him, 39.9 coverage grade. Dax Hill, a 41.3. It's 3 out of your 4 guys that are the main guys in the secondary. Mike Hilton had a 76, so he was out there. I mean, Mike Hilton looked better this week than last week. But man, and I know you're not getting a pass rush. It all goes hand in hand. I understand that completely, but it's just like, and I don't know where you're going to get the pass rush from. Joseph Osai has not been the same since that AFC Championship game 2 years ago. He's just not. Hendrickson can give it to you in bursts, but I don't know if he's dinged up because the snaps was way down. Sam Hubbard looks completely washed. I mean, there's really no other way around it.
Yeah.
And he still gets 75% of the snaps.
Yeah.
And he's not doing anything.
Like, I don't care if you're a local boy, man. That doesn't count. All right. I mean, if he's not local, do we hang on to him that long? I'm not like trying to throw out Sam Hubbard hate, man. I love the dude. All right. I'm just saying, like, this defense is horrid. It's horrid. Where was the defense last year? I mean, last week. Is like the whole plan is against Patrick Mahomes and we run that defense out there every week when we're not playing Patrick Mahomes? How do we go? What time is it? Put the headphones on me, Tim. It's over. Happy time's over. Where the fuck is our defense? What, man, come on. Like next draft, Dale, every position, just take defense from top to bottom. Take the defense. The good news is we're going to have the goddamn first pick in the fucking draft so we can trade down and get a couple good defensive players in the first round.
Well, here's the thing. Even if you take them, you got to play them.
Okay,
DJ Turner, one snap yesterday, and he made a good play again. He almost had an interception that was called back last week in 7 snaps. And the first week he had 10 snaps, and he held up fine. And his snaps are going down, and he's playing good. Yeah. What are we doing? Like, what the fuck is the point of that?
I don't know.
It is so ridiculous. How many snaps did Jordan Battle have yesterday? 0.
I didn't see him at all.
I just told you the grades for Geno Stone and Von Bell. Von Bell is washed. I'm sorry, he's washed. great leader. Love everything he did here 3 fucking years ago, but it ain't 3
Right.
years ago. It's
This
now.
is not 2021. You're right. We need to quit this shit, man. Like, I'm telling you, it was so physically draining to be in that stadium yesterday around halftime. I mean, halftime was great because Corey got his jacket and stuff. And oh my God, you should have seen that dude fucking strutting with that jacket open, walking out of the stadium. It was a beautiful thing. He was wearing his sweet ass, like fucking pimp hat, looking like Don fucking the Magic Wand out there accepting his award. That was great. But then after Corey disappeared off the field, reality set right back in, man. It set right back in. I thought defense, Lou's done it before, make that halftime adjustment. And then when they came out, like I wasn't paying attention.
Like
was
a
that
70-yard
kickoff
return? Yeah.
Like right off the bat. And I was like, what the fuck? And I got to tell you, the punters last night, they're rested. They're ready for another game because not a goddamn one of them made a fucking kick that wasn't practice.
But
no
by the way,
punting yesterday.
But and by the way, I want to make a big shout out to Darth. So we were waiting for Corey to get Corey and Tim Crumride to do the rule of the jungle thing. They were coming around, so Corey's going around. He doesn't hear us first, but then he turns his head the last second, sees me, James, and Darth, and he immediately they're leading him to up on the stage. He immediately turns around, says, "Thank you guys for coming," and Darth gave him the chain to wear where it was posted on the Bengals website. Tim Crumride didn't want. People were asking, like, Corey, why are you wearing 2 chains? And Tim's not wearing one. Apparently, Tim didn't want to wear one, so Corey just ended up wearing both chains. But dude, shout out to Darth, man. That's so cool that Corey wore that awesome chain on.
Corey slammed down that scepter so hard that the top flew off of it. He broke the scepter, the Rule of the Jungle scepter.
Yeah.
He slammed it down, and the top flew off of it. So then he put his hand over it, and then with that hat, he did look like a pimp. Because now he had his pimp stick and his pimp hat. He was ready. But anyway, back to the Bengals.
I mean, Dustin, I'm having a hard time for the Lou defense, and you can say, well, if he had the players, if he had part of his fucking job is talent evaluator. We know that here in fucking Cincinnati. Well, they go fucking scout. They have a say in free agency. They have a fucking say in everything. So you're not getting the fucking job done, and you've got to scheme guys open. You say, well, the guys got to go out there and make the fucking tackles. What are you doing in fucking practice?
Exactly.
Like, what the fuck are you doing? It's fucking moronic. I'm sorry. If you're a bottom-tier fucking defense multiple years in a row, it falls on you.
Also,
and there's no excuse. It's time to fucking go. He's got to go.
Dale.
But he won't because we're the fucking Bengals.
Not this season, but the last 2 seasons, our first-round picks have been defensive players. Our first-round picks, the last 2 seasons, not this one, have been defensive players. Because we got Dax Hill, and then we got
CTB.
Miles Murphy.
Dax Hill, Cam Taylor-Britt were back-to-back. And then you got Miles Murphy, DJ Turner, Jordan Battle. So you went your first 3 picks. So you went your top 2, your top 3, and some of these guys aren't even seeing the field.
I was telling you before the show, man, I'm tired of people saying this defense is fucked because they let Jesse Bates go. Jesse Bates is a fucking badass defensive player, a badass safety. You know, he might be all pro this year, but that's not the reason your whole fucking defense sucks now.
Yeah.
He's one fucking player that takes 12 guys out there on the team.
Didn't replace DJ Reader.
And as far as like you were talking about Von Bell, like I believe that we brought him back for communication, and I understand that, okay? But communicate from the goddamn sideline. You don't even need a fucking jersey. Put on a fucking polo, get on the coaching staff, and communicate from over there. And you know what? As far as I'm concerned, get the young guys in there because we're going to need them next year.
If a guy knows where to be, but when he's there, he can't make the tackle or he gets knocked back 10 yards on a block, does it really do any good to be there in the first place with that communication? Because to me, it doesn't.
It's our therapy session.
Oh, I'm fucking pissed, man. I was so fucking pissed last night. It's like, 0-3. We said, get out to a fast start. Joe Burrow's had this whole healthy offseason. This, that, and the other, and you're playing two of the first 3 games is people that had top 3 picks. Now Carolina's the next one, and if you fucking lose this one, 3 out of 4, and then Kansas City, who somehow was the best game we played, we showed up a little bit and almost had a win in that one. Last night beyond it being 7-0 at the start of the game, it never really felt like we were going to win the game after that because they just every time they got the ball, it's like boom, 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 touchdown, boom, 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 touchdown.
No, Dale, one time.
We got them to fourth down. Guess what? Going to go for it. They kicked one field goal. Every other time they went for it, and they got it.
And that shows you they weren't scared of us. They were not scared at all. And when you're a good defense, you don't go for it on 4th and 4, 4th and 2, 4th and 4. When you're that good of a defense, they will either kick the field goal or punt it. It just goes to show you they were not scared at all one bit.
Well, I mean, we hit them at 2nd and 20 the one time.
Yep.
It was, I mean, come on, man.
And then it would have been almost 3rd and 20, but we missed the fucking tackle and gave up 7 or 8 on that.
Is there a defensive
And then Geno Stone
player?
was celebrating like he's the best player in the world because he made a tackle.
I hate that shit. Like, okay, so we left the stadium early, right? And when I'm out on the concourse of the stadium getting ready to walk down the steps, the Bengals, I think Zach Moss scored the last touchdown. And the fireworks go off, and I hear people doing the touchdown song, and I'm like, for real? Like, man, at this point, like, you already know that you ain't getting the ball back.
Well, they had a chance for an onside kick. That was the only.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, they got the touchdown and had an onside kick. If you recover that, you don't have to give them the ball back. You score another touchdown, you could win.
Also, real quick, fuck Derek. Fuck you, buddy. Fuck you, Derek. You son of a bitch. You went from the gambling house. That was okay. Now you're drinking a fucking Corona and the ocean's behind you. Fuck you, Derek. I know where you live, and I'm going to your goddamn house.
What?
Son of a bitch. So, Sarah, throw his ass overboard.
I had to come somewhere where it was quiet.
Oh man, we all need to be there with you, Derek. We need to get the Bengals and Brews chopper fired up, land that bitch on that cruise ship, and come and have good time with you. We don't have one yet. What happened to my sponsorship money, Dale?
I always say the only way to get over a loss is to get on a cruise ship and go out somewhere, right?
Yeah,
that's the only way.
You must have predicted this loss because you went before the game started.
Yeah.
Which brings me to my Bengals PTSD. Can these motherfuckers not help me, please? I said this team plays to their competition, and they continue to play to the competition. Played shit against Patriots. Played shit against, defense played shit against the Commanders. We played spectacular against the Chiefs. Next week, Andy Dalton, the known Bengal killer. We're going to Carolina against the redheaded Bengal killer.
And he was the first quarterback all season to throw for 300 yards and, 3 touchdowns?
Andy Dalton?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Joe Burrow did that last night, and it didn't matter. Because their defense couldn't get a stop.
I got to tell you right now, looking at all these other AFC teams, I mean, you got the Buffaloes, you've got the Kansas City, the Ravens.
This team right here is 3-0, unfortunately.
Tyler Kelly.
I can't believe that shit.
He went to the game with me. John couldn't go. So that's my bad luck. Watch a piss-ass game. But Tyler, he was actually – that motherfucker Tyler Kelly was actually rooting for the Bengals because he had money on them. But I don't know. He needed T. Higgins to get 6 yards. I don't think he got the money. That's in the chat. I don't remember.
What is
I was wallowing in my sorrow.
They're a flaccid 3-0.
You know what, man? At this point, they're fucking 3-0. They're winning division.
Yeah.
I don't know what to fucking say. You know what? At this point, so far at 3 games, I concede these 3 games, not the future, but the 3.
Well, and you know what's not good is, I mean, what Washington's able to do with a mobile quarterback, and you got to worry about him running, and then he has all day to throw because we don't have any pressure. Guess what you're going to see? You're going to see Justin Fields 2 times. You're going to see Lamar Jackson 2 times.
Yep.
We're not built to stop that on defense at all.
No.
At all right now.
Deshaun Watson also in his prime, which he ain't at, was known as a mobile quarterback too that can make plays happen with his feet. So
what happened?
I mean, it's the whole division. I was talking to Tyler Kelly last night. Like, I feel like this team is built to beat Patrick Mahomes. Problem is, there's 30 other teams in the NFL besides Cincinnati and Kansas City, and we need to win our division first. Focus on the division or something. Focus on anything. Focus.
Go ahead, Greg.
Yeah, you know what happened to that team too? 2021, man. I mean, containing Lamar Jackson. I mean, before that, for years we've had issues with like you guys said, the mobile quarterbacks, and now we're back to square one again. It's like, I mean, Jay Daniels looked comfortable back there. He probably could have been drinking a cup of coffee if he wanted to back there most of the time, waiting to pay. I mean, it's just ridiculous. It's just like, you know what I mean? I try to be positive, but I mean, you don't ever, when you score 33 points in a game, your quarterback goes for 300 yards, you lead every offensive category in that game, and you lose. That's a big mistake. That something is very wrong right there.
I think that somebody said it's only happened 12 times in the history of the NFL.
Yeah.
I thought I saw a stat that said that the stats that Joe Burrow, that the offense put up and still lose the game, has only happened 12 times in the NFL. I'm glad that we could be one of them. We love being on the record books in the wrong direction.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody said on X also, like, well, at least ticket prices will go down next year. No, the fuck they ain't.
No.
Man, did you see that upgrade Hamilton County proposed? Ticket prices ain't going fucking down. Not at all. They're going to go up. And I'll pay for it. I'll pay for it.
Yeah, I don't know about me. Like, I almost didn't get them this year. I'm really disappointed because they had money and they never move money around like every other damn team. They never cut guys that are easily cuttable to create more money. I'm sick and tired of the front office not having the willingness to go and make the moves they need to make to truly support when you have a franchise quarterback like Joe Burrow. You have to bring in defensive pieces. You can't just say, we're going to bring in tier 3 guys every time in free agency, and it's just going to be fine, you know. Well, Von Bell came back for basically free. Well, because he ain't worth the shit anymore. So that's why he's basically free.
This is the kickoff I missed. I wasn't paying attention. There was a squib kick to start off the half.
I
don't remember. I looked up and seen he was running the damn ball like it was.
Look,
that
man,
bad.
to tell you the truth, this new kickoff rule, in my assessment, which, you know, I'm just the football layman. I don't know all these spectacular things that you guys know with your football brains. I'm the layman and the color commentary. But it seems to me like anytime everybody's only making it out somewhere between the 25 and 30 yard line. Right. And not a lot of people bust it past the 30, and you come out to the 30. So you might as well just kick it through the back. Everybody's coming out to around the 30 anyway.
And especially with the guy like Eckler, who the week before, if it wasn't for a penalty, had a 99-yard touchdown. You can't tell me you didn't fucking see that. Like, I knew that. You better have fucking known that. You're the fucking coach.
Yeah. I will say, and if that's the kick, I did watch that kick back, and the problem was it wasn't necessarily the squib kick. It's the goddamn missed tackles all the fucking time. That's the shit that gets on my nerves.
And that's the whole fucking team, man. Early in the game, like just completely whiffing on people nonstop, and they're just like, I mean, they said it. I think it was like Troy Aikman's like, yeah, and this is on tape. They just throw it short and let their guys run, and we were not ready to tackle.
Well, no, Jay Daniels, we had him out of bounds one time. Then he spun around a guy and he gained even more yards. It's just like you just can't win with this.
Now, I will say there's 2 young guys that at least knew how to tackle, and you know it was good to see Chris Jenkins back out there. His PFF rush defense grade was, let's see here, 69.
Don't climb over the rail, Declan.
69.6. Lawrence Guy, who we just off the street, Lawrence Guy, 75.3 run defense grade. It's like, you know, you can literally sign guys off the street that are willing to tackle better than what you've had in camp. That's
what was Chris Jenkins' score?
A 69.6, almost a 70. That's really good run defense grade.
That's really good for a rookie.
Especially that's his first game, and he's got a club
on his hand, and he got 42% of the snaps. I want to see him getting the 70% of the snaps. I don't care. Why
Zach
is that
Carter.
Carter getting 70%? Now listen,
Yeah.
his great. He's 62.5 run defense this week compared to last week's 28 or whatever it was. So it was better, but I just never see that guy make an impact. I see Tufele at least be around the ball. But did he? Because his run grade was 37 according to PFF. So and it was like 30
maybe
last
it was
week. So,
maybe it was his pass rush, but I feel like every time there was a tackle made near or at the line of scrimmage, it was him making a play.
I think it's just his hair, right? When his hair is around the ball, it seems like he's around the ball.
Yeah, right.
That's his hair.
Right.
But he's like grade wise for PFF at least, and I know not everybody believes that the grades are worth the shit, but grade wise, he has not been good, and he's still getting a ton of snaps. So him and Zach Carter are getting a ton of snaps, and Lawrence Guy and Chris Jenkins outplayed. So basically, Lawrence Guy, Tufele
right here.
Yeah.
Oh, goddamn. Crip's going to go off in the chat now.
Yeah. Tufele doubled the snaps of Lawrence Guy, who outplayed him by a mile. And then Zach Carter doubled the snaps of Chris Jenkins, and Chris Jenkins outplayed him by a mile. Like, these are things that it's like, well, we're down to D tackle 5 and 6. Who gives a crap? You still have better freaking run defenders and players on your team that you need to play. You called up Dominic Davis. He got 0 snaps. None. You just keep trotting the same 2 guys out there who haven't got it done since week 1.
Yeah. And that's what upsets me the most when you call guys up and then they don't get any snaps at all. Like, what was the purpose of calling them up?
Yeah. Well,
especially in a spot
an emergency situation if someone gets hurt, I guess, but
yeah.
Will changed his name to just Will. He probably got tired of might got tired of Jeff calling him Willis.
Or maybe he thought people mistakenly thought he was Will Levis.
Will Levis, yeah. You know. I don't know. But I thought when I saw that name, I thought, I wonder if that's Will. But yep, that's Will.
Yep.
Sam
if
Hubbard's
anybody in the chat tuned in for, I just want to say, go ahead.
Supposed to be known for run defense, right? A 49 run defense grade, a 33rd overall. He gives you nothing as a pass rusher, and his run defense grade is atrocious. What good is him playing 75% of the snaps? Joseph Osai, his overall grade, a 32.4, so it's not any better, and a 30 run defense grade. So those 2 guys are killing you. I've preached for years, go out and get a veteran like the Ravens do. And guess what the Ravens did? They went out and got Yannick Ngakoue the other day. They do it every season. They bring in a veteran guy that's ready to go. We brought one in Lawrence Guy out of necessity because of the injuries. But we should be going and doing that, you know. And Cedric Johnson's another guy who looked pretty good. He actually tackled.
Let me
what kills me is you can't tell me that as a head coach, as a front office, that you're watching these games over and over, week after week after week, and seeing one guy get constant pass rush and no one else, and think, "Oh, we're fine." Like I know exactly what they're waiting on.
Trey didn't have his best game, and if you don't have a otherworldly game every game, you got nothing at all. Nothing.
Yeah, and I know what they're thinking. They're thinking, "Well, Miles Murphy comes back in 2 weeks." What you can't rely on that, and they do it year after year after year. They just say, "Well, we got these guys
they still
coming."
will trot Sam out there for 70% of the snaps. So what difference will it make?
Yep.
Let me ask you this. Like Joe said in his press conference after the game or something, he was saying he needs to reevaluate his role on this as a leader of this team, and it's got me thinking. Like, I don't know what that means, but you know what I want it to mean is I want a little bit more of Tom Brady to come out of Joe. I want Tom Brady, the part of Tom Brady I want to come out of Joe isn't even the 6 fucking Super Bowl rings or 7, whatever the fuck he's got. The part I want to come out of Joe is making people be responsible for their fucking job, man.
Yeah.
If I did my job like the defense did their job last night, I would not have a job.
Yeah.
It's, it's a sport. It's fun when we're kids. But when you're in the NFL, it's your fucking job. It's what you're fucking paid for. So go out there and fucking earn that goddamn money that I'm paying every fucking week for these fucking tickets. They're not cheap. The goddamn beers are $15 fucking dollars. And with this fucking team, they're making a shit fucking ton of money on beer because we all need to drink the fuck out of it. to even manage our daily lives. Half the goddamn fans are calling 988, the suicide fucking hotline today. Come the fuck on, man. You know, and then the other thing, Dale, you said something last night in our chat, and I was talking to that motherfucker Tyler Kelly about it. You were saying that something about getting rid of T, and that's not the answer. We need to keep our assets, and we're not going to make the team better by getting rid of pieces and all that stuff. And I don't disagree.
Like, if you're a top 5 talent, you got to find a way to pay those guys. If you're a top 5 talent on the team, is what I was saying. So, like, Jesse Bates, when he was here, was a top 5 talent overall on this team. Let him go. DJ Reader, top 5 talent on this team. Let him go. Now, T. Higgins, top 5 talent currently on this team, and they're just going to let him walk. How are you improving? How are you improving?
I feel that, but let me ask you, I'm just like, maybe this is my overreaction. I have a hard time feeling like this is overreaction when you're 0-3. I don't think there can be an overreaction to the losses, but my feeling on that was like, our defense is so fucking bad right now. So what if we took a good piece of our offense that we could probably work around and then got a fucking monster in here on our defense? But number one, you'd have to find a team that needed offense as bad as we need defense, and they had a piece that was as good as the piece that we were given. And the piece I'm talking about is fucking T. Higgins. All right, because not that I don't love T. Higgins, but he's not going to be here next year.
No,
I mean, if we're going to fucking lose this season and not go into the goddamn playoffs, having T here doesn't do us a goddamn thing. And if you're planning on getting rid of him, at least put number one, this is good for T, put him in a better position for himself. And the second thing is get something fucking out of him instead of just letting him go at the end of the season, which if that's the plan, which I don't see how it's not, then get something out of him. Maybe a first-round pick, maybe a player and a second-round pick. You know what I'm saying? Something that can help us right now.
But they're not gonna think that way. They're gonna think he helps us right now, and we can go on a win streak still, and this and that. Each game's gonna go by, and you got nothing to defend. I'd be trying out some defensive ends too. I mean, we gotta find something. If Lawrence Guy can come in, there's got to be some free agent defensive end that can come in and do something. That's done something in this league.
We're never going to quit crying about. And you know what? The fact of the matter is, I think that the Bengals, don't they have enough cap space left right now that if they would have paid Reader, we'd have still been fine?
Oh, I would imagine. And they gave a bunch of money to Rankin. And everybody's like, well, DJ Reader and his injuries and this and that. And it's like, Sheldon Rankin's been hurt just as much as him throughout.
This reminds me of a story that I can share that TJ Hushmanzada was telling us, is that when he left town, this is just part of the Bengals history. When he left town, he, his contract was up and he went and told Carson, he was like, look, dude, he was like, if they don't give me the money, he was like, Seattle and Minnesota, this is what they're offering me and I'm gone. And he was like, Carson's like, you're fucking lying, dude. You ain't leaving. And TJ's like, I'm telling you that they ain't going to give me the money and I'm going to be gone. And he went to Seattle. And they hired Lavernius Coles. They got Lavernius Coles in free agency. And guess what they gave Lavernius Coles? The fucking money TJ was asking for. And he did not work out. He was not the guy. And then TJ said once again, he had another chance to come back to the Bengals. And he wanted to come back, when he went to Baltimore. And guess what? I don't remember. Oh, I know who the free agent was that they took that time. Was fucking T.O. He was saying it was T.O. So they didn't bring him back because they got T.O. for the same money that he would have come back for. So, I mean, that's front office shit right there.
It's frustrating, man. Right? It's just frustrating. Yes. It's frustrating because these are the players who play for the organization. Like, it's not us, it's just fans making shit up. Like, no, this is literally what happens.
And I got to tell you,
be here and they won't.
Let me ask you guys. Let me ask you all this question. Obviously, and I still think it's too early to ask this. I mean, I don't want you look at our history of the quarterbacks, get a little front. Well, not Andy Dalton, but you look at your Carson Palmer. Are you guys worried eventually Joe Burrow's going to get fed up eventually? Yeah,
like maybe. And I got to tell you though that there's I'm not sure. I don't think I could tell the story, so I'm not going to. But my Carson Palmer hate has lessened a lot after talking to TJ Hushmanzada. Yeah, and At the same
He tried
time,
to get him to change. He was trying to get them to
Yes.
change.
Yes,
And
he was.
leveraging,
I
hey, I'm
mean,
a superstar quarterback, and I'm saying we need to do this, and this,
Right.
and bring in guys and make these moves and be more competitive and spend the salary cap and do all this. And they wouldn't do it. They just refused to do it.
there
And
was.
after we went
to
to the Super Bowl for 1 year.
I can just say this, and my Carson Palmer hate is not over. I'm working on it, but TJ did a lot as far as like I'm willing to listen to people and see where they stand.
Yes.
And there was a lot. I can just say this, that there was a lot behind Carson Palmer leaving, and more than just like him getting pissed off and being like, "Fuck it, I quit." So there was a lot of pieces. There was a lot of promises that were made that weren't upheld, and different things that happened. That I feel like when he told us, and you were there, Greg, I feel like it's stuff he doesn't want us, like he told us privately, right? Like, because he was like, they would never say this, and I would never say this, you know?
Yeah,
But
I mean, if
I'm
he's
just saying, like,
and TJ's pretty. He said he'll say a lot. So
Yeah.
if he said, and I would never say this, then that's something,
right.
you know.
But I can tell you this, and you guys know fucking how much I hate Carson Palmer. It's really got my mind twisted right now, especially when you take the stories about him and the stories about him. And now my fucking brain is all twisted up and I don't know what's going on. All I know is I hate you less now, Carson Palmer.
We know he's watching. Right.
Yeah.
Right. And you know what? I do feel like after listening to TJ, because I don't think he's got any reason to lie.
No, why would he?
No.
And I'll tell you one thing he said is he was like, Carson loves Cincinnati. And I know it's hard to tell, especially us fans, and you know the chat will probably chime in, but it's hard to tell. But he said Carson owns land in Cincinnati. He comes here every year and goes hunting on his land. He lets friends go hunting on his land.
Oh, now Derek hates him less.
Oh, Derek, yeah. Now Derek hates him less.
Did you say hunting?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's somewhere around Lake Winoka.
Oh yeah.
No, I don't know where it's at, but he said that he owns land here in Cincinnati. He comes here to hunt. His friends come here to hunt. So he was like, he likes Cincinnati. And, but you know, him and the team had a plan, and then the team didn't follow the plan. And so he left. And so as much as it stings as a Bengals fan at the time, and it stung when Corey left, you know, Corey was the whole team.
I got a damn cramp and it's fucking brutal. It's like up on top of my leg, and I'm just over here like.
I can see a future. I can see a future where I put Carson Palmer in the Ring of Honor. To be honest, I mean that's going to be awfully weird though. He did. TJ had to leave because I was going to ask him. I'm like, somebody like, well,
no,
what about the part?
Carson won't get in the Ring of Honor.
What about the part where? No, he won't. I wanted to ask TJ. He had to leave, but I was going to be like, what about the part where he told Joe Burrow, "Don't go to Cincinnati"? Which I can understand if Carson thinks that the organization still run like it was. But at this point, do I think it's being run different? I don't know.
Yeah.
They're still they let fucking our run stopping tackle go for money that we could have paid him and kept him here. And it seems like after he left, he was like vocal, like it was a fucking few dollars they were squibbling over. You know,
honestly, shocking your junk with jumper cables, Ross, would have been less painful than watching that game.
A taser.
Yeah.
Just use a taser.
And
Don't use jumper cables.
I think Santori had the best analogy ever when he said this defense looked like it was trying to stop the Titanic from sinking with a ShamWow.
Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
It was terrible. It was so horrid. And then I had that girl next to me. Ugh.
Like to summarize Monday, to summarize last night, offense still looks amazing. I mean, there was still some cues like red zone. We still seem to have a little few issues there, which that's always been a kryptonite for this team. And I don't know if that goes back to play calling, what that goes back to, but it seems like anytime we're in the red zone, give them 4 tries and 9 times out of 10 they'll make it. But we're wanting to get this stuff done in 3, or else If not, we're kicking a field goal. And
Well,
either
maybe
that-
because Evan McPherson's now missing them inside the 50,
Yeah.
inside 50 yards.
Yeah.
That's
But-
twice this year, I think, isn't it?
yeah.
Yeah, he missed an
he's
extra
missed
point
2 of
last
them now.
week.
Yeah.
Extra point and now the
Yeah.
field goal.
But
let me go ahead,
as
Derek.
far as the defense goes, how do you fix it? I mean, it's going to be what it's going to be from this point. We're just going to have to outscore every team 40-0 or 40-38.
I don't know.
We're going to
but I
have to
will-
outscore them like 90-86 if the defense keeps up like this.
I will say, as far as blocking grades, and people were like, well, it's Mims' time now, and Trent Brown, he hasn't been good. Trent Brown looked a lot better last week, and his PFF grade and his 16 pass blocking snaps, which is not just a small sample. You know, it wasn't like it was 5 and he was out. He had an 80 pass block grade last night. So he was holding up phenomenal, and he was rounding back into form, so it's very unfortunate he's out for the season. Now, I am excited about Mims and his future here, and I'm glad to see that he's going to now get those reps, assuming he can stay on the field. But then if anything happens to Mims, now there's no Trent Brown, and what do you
Cody Ford. Come on,
Cody
man.
Ford
out
time.
there who probably shouldn't be on.
Let me tell
team.
you my funny story about Trent Brown going down. We're in the stands, and I see somebody down. I'm like, oh, no. And then I'm like, oh, it's just Trent Brown. That's okay. Because at least we got a backup for him, Mims. And this dude, like in the row in front of me, like 5 seats over to my left, was like, he's looking at me like, fuck you talking about? And I'm like, if any player on our line is going to go down, that's probably the best one. Not saying I'm happy he went down.
I did the
but
same exact
at least
thing.
we
in the bar last
everybody
night.
already
Well, a
knew
lot
that
of people
Mims-
thought it might have been Orlando Brown
I saw
in
that.
our chat, and I was like, well, they said Trent on the TV, and if it would have been Orlando, then I think that would have been a lot tougher because
And
now
so
you're
when-
moving Trent from right to left, and you're putting Mims in, so you're having 2 replacements basically.
and your left tackle at that point is injury known to not make it through a season. But so you were talking about Trent Brown's grade was 80. So when Mims came in and took over, what was his grade?
He had a 55 pass blocking grade. He was the lowest on the team, and his run blocking grade was only a 38. So according to PFF, he did not have a good game. He was our second lowest rated player overall, period, on the offense. Lowest was Drew Sample. So Drew Sample season fucking canceled. Fuck him again. Eric All looks
I
really
will
good,
say-
though, by the way, again.
Oh, Eric
His
Hall.
buddy was
Oh my
sitting
God.
right in front of me, and I was like telling Tyler Kelly, I was like, oh, dude, that's a local boy from Fairfield. And this guy right in front of me turns around, he goes, from Wilmington. I said, he didn't graduate from Fairfield High School. He was like 1 year. He was like, he's from Wilmington. He was like, I played basketball with him at Wilmington. He's a friend of mine.
He's
I
from
said, well,
Wilmington, Fairfield. He's from the area, whatever.
Yeah.
Now, I will say Mims's grade, I feel like, was very, very, very
poor.
highly skewed
Oh.
on the one sack that, I mean, the guy just completely got by him and he just whiffed completely.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's his first action in several weeks. You know, he's been out hurt.
Yeah.
So I'm not super concerned about Mims getting better, but that is what it was. And I think Trent Brown was more in form right now. You know, he was really where he's been here, and was the 3rd game of the season, and it just took him a little while because he's also dinged up for the preseason. Eric All, though, back to that. So he had, like, remember I said tied for the most snaps last week with like 52. Well, this or 42, something like that. This week he only had 21. He only had 20 or 30, 34% of the snaps. Like, why? That makes no sense to me. Drew Sample had 40%, Gesicki 50, which I understand, you know, you were having to pass the ball. Maybe some of that was toward the end, and maybe that skewed that a little bit. But fuck, man. Eric All just looks too good as an overall tight end, blocking, catching the ball, everything. I want to see him getting the most tight end snaps. Now, you can still put a lot of Gesicki in there, but give me Eric All, where they don't know if you're running or passing. The run game looked good, too. Chase Brown and Zach Moss both looked good last night.
Yeah, they
the ball,
did.
so that was a positive.
And I will say this real quick on Chase Brown and Zach Moss. One of the things that I heard last week going into this game was they said Zach was kind of getting more of the gritty yards and stuff. I did notice
Yeah.
I paid attention more on this game to that. It seemed like Chase Brown was more of that one hole, see the hole go. He was getting those snaps, and I think that might be the best role for him because he continues to look phenomenal with those just one cut.
I think he's clear running back one because he's a better blocker too. Now the grade wasn't very good yesterday, but he's a better blocker. And he's going to give you the tough yards, so you don't have to worry about getting stopped or going backwards very often, at least. He's going to fight for everything. I think that there's a lot of trust with him. So I think he's a clear running back one, but I would like to see it. The split was about 75-25. Let's keep getting that a little, maybe 70-30, 65-35 probably would be like where you really want to get to. But, it was 80-20. Now we're 75-25. And, Chase Brown, I mean, he's just explosive. I want to see more of him. But at the same time, when you look at the numbers and you go, well, Moss had twice the carries like last week. And then this week it was kind of similar. I'll look here and see carry-wise. Chase Brown had 7. Moss only had 12. So Brown had 62 yards on 7 carries. And then Moss had 58 yards on 12 carries. Not a big disparity on the rushing numbers, and I thought both guys looked really good doing it. So I'm actually this week I felt like the split was fine. Let Chase Brown come in and hit him with the speed after Moss kind of, grinds out the tough yards here and there. And I think it's working pretty well. I'll go ahead and give the rest of the pass blocking grades at least for the O-line. Volson with the 70. So after the atrocious week last week, bounced back, had a good week this week. Ted Karras is 75, so he had a good week. And they have a decent interior O-line. Orlando Brown is 70 pass block grade. Kappa was 69.9. So, I mean, overall, and I mean, we were able to move the ball, put up points. That wasn't really the problem. The line, I think that's one of the most frustrating things for me is being 0-3. Our line actually looks good. Not just at best mediocre at a game. They look like a pretty good line overall with the 5 pieces in there, whether it's Trent Brown or Mims. And it just sucks that we're wasting that. We finally get that, and we have nothing on the defensive line.
No. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. So let's just take the season 3 games. Like the first game, it's a fucking trap game. All right. We went into the season like we're fucking Bengals. Patriots, you suck. Fucking Brissett, come on. And got beat. We only put 10 fucking points up. No excuse for that. Both parts of the team sucked, offense and defense. Then we go out to the Kansas City, and we play them. And both sides played pretty good, I thought. And then we come home, and they're like the defense is still in Kansas City eating fucking ribs. They did not come back to Cincinnati. So, I mean, can we get a defense? Is it possible that the defense can play like they did against Kansas City, against Carolina, against the Steelers, against Baltimore, against fucking Cleveland, or whoever the fuck else we got to play? Is it possible at this point? What the fuck is going on with this
We've
team?
got to generate a pass rush. If we're not doing it with the 4 guys that are in, regardless who they are up front, then you got to start sending more blitzes. Like I think Will mentioned earlier, and I saw that too, Will, on Twitter. It's like 10 or 11 blitzes or something. You're going to have to dial up a ton more and just make it to where they don't know who's coming, when they're coming. Run blitzes, pass blitzes, it doesn't fucking matter. You're going to have to dial something up because doing what they're doing right now is not working at all.
Let me ask you this, though, Dale. Like, at this point right now, let's say they bring in a new even if they got rid of Lou, like I know people are like calling for Lou's head and stuff, but who steps up to that role for the rest of the season? Who comes in for that role for the rest of the season? I don't know. And then change. I don't know if like changing our whole defense.
I don't think you got it. I don't think you got a guy, honestly, that you would just.
That's what I'm saying. So like, I just don't know.
It sucks.
It's I'm willing to like give it a few more games and see what happens because, like I said, like these first 3 games, it's like it's a roller coaster. So it needs to flatten out, and we need to have an even keel. Like our defense totally lost us that game. Pittsburgh's got a defense that's winning them every game. They haven't let a team put up over 10 points in 3 games. And their offense isn't that great, but their defense is keeping them in games. Our defense is so poor yesterday that our offense that didn't even punt couldn't keep us in the game.
And that was a killer right there, too, because, I mean, it's like anytime you do something good, it's one step forward, three steps back all the damn time. Like that's simple things. You have to number one, you've got to know where you're lined up at all times, and that's unlike Pratt. And that's the shitty part is like the guys aren't doing the easy things right.
And
when
let's
you're
not give
doing
the
easy
referees
things right. I don't know.
Let's not give the officials a pass either yesterday because that was completely fucking defensive pass interference on who was it? T. Higgins?
Yep.
Yeah,
the
for
end
the
zone?
2-point conversion, and it was
Come
very
on,
clear.
man. Come on.
Yeah. The problem is, I don't think it ultimately would have mattered because we just couldn't get a stop. That's the shittiest part. But yeah,
I'm saying you can't blame this one on the officials when your defense is so porous.
But no, Derek, going back to what you said about not knowing where to line up, I couldn't tell you how many times I looked at all the defensive players looking at each other like,
Exactly.
where are we going? Where are we going? Where are we going? And then all of a sudden, Jane Daniels hikes the ball. They're like, all right, let's just scatter everywhere. Let's just, someone was wide open most of the time. That 4th down and 4, wide open all the time. I
don't know what you guys saw on TV, but that play where they got 12 men or too many men on the field or what, 12 men on the field, that play, I saw players on the sideline run out and back in 3 fucking times. They had no idea who was the personnel for the play. And that wasn't the only time that happened. That defense yesterday was not set on a lot of plays. They weren't even set. Like they were looking at each other. You could see them on the field yelling at each other, like telling people where to line up, and they had no idea where to line up. But the one where they got
coaching, right? You have to put that on coaching. You have to put that on.
I knew they were going to get 12 men because 3 times they ran in and off the sideline, and then look back like me, no, me, and then go back out like me, no. And I'm like, you got to be fucking kidding me. What is going on here?
Yeah.
It was so frustrating. I know, Derek, you had to hang out with a bunch of Bills fans yesterday, and they probably had the time of their life. I saw part of that game.
They were kicking ass.
They looked like the best team in the NFL last night. No shit. Yeah. They looked great. And then here's Cincinnati.
And not only that, but there was a couple Washington fans that were there too. And we actually we got to talking with them. We had a good time. But it was like every time she would come over to see what the score was, something would happen that would screw the Bengals. And I told her, I said, get your ass back over there on the other side of the sports bar.
Hey, listen, I told the lady next to me, I said, what are you driving? Where are you parked at? She started laughing. She was so nice. Like I was telling you before the show started, Dale, like she was so excited for the Commanders, and her son was a Bengals fan. Like she was born in Maryland and then moved to Cincinnati. But like anytime a big play would happen, she'd be like, oh yeah. And she'd be like, oh, and trying to keep quiet. And I'm just like, girl, this is your team, man. And I'm a homer, Jaden Daniels homer. So I'm like, you guys got a great quarterback. You should be very happy for your team. I said, don't worry about it. Cheer.
And that's one thing that we can't get lost on too, is like we are complaining so much about our defense. A lot of that too was Jaden played his fucking ass off yesterday.
I'm telling you. Look, I ain't trying to. I struggle right now still. Like, was that Jaden Daniels or was our defense that bad? Our defense was that bad, but is Jaden Daniels that good? I mean, that dude balled out in college. We'll see what he can do in the NFL. But this is not a fucking Commander show.
Also, Cam Taylor-Britt, you just got to stop talking at this point, right?
Yes.
I mean, I get it. He's juiced. He's always in, and I love that family. I love him. But, man, the coach isn't happy about it. You're giving him bulletin board material. I mean, you could say that's not a thing. I just don't like it. I didn't like the Arrowhead stuff when it was called another name. Just go out and play, man. Just let your play do the talking. Now, Derek, you're a big trash talker, but how are you feeling about that now?
I mean, you can't look at it in hindsight. You know what I mean? Like, I was happy with it.
Yes, you can. That's what we're doing. That's what we're doing.
Yeah. No, that's why it shows Tuesday.
I'm saying I said after the Kansas City game, I was still happy with it.
Talk your shit. Okay, talk your shit when you make the plays, for sure.
Yeah. But what I don't like is, and I don't know if, did I see where he was talking after the game was over?
Yes and no. Like, he was very, being polite, and, like he was saying, I've got to eat my words on this and stuff. But then he was still kind of saying, like, I still think they keep it really basic for him and stuff like that. And it's like, bro, you guys didn't get one stop.
That's the thing.
Anything that can motivate another team, let's just not do it.
If they kept it basic for him and you guys couldn't stop it, what's that say about you?
Yeah. What's
that
say about that defense?
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the only issue I had with it was that, like, I don't care if you go out there and you talk smack and then you get smacked, own up to it, say, yeah, I was out there talking and I didn't show up.
And he can talk all game long. Just don't do it before the game.
Right.
Is for me.
I'm okay with it before the game.
No, I'm not. I just want us to go let our play do the talking for once and don't give another team any kind of extra motivation, the potential for any kind of extra motivation to want to go out there and kick your ass, because the NFL, man, it's all a bunch of really good players. That's how they got to the NFL. For me, man, just please, and this is not just piling on Cam. We've seen a ton of other players do this shit too. They pop off at the mouth, they make these little comments, and the other team sees that. They put that, they talk about it. They know, oh, they said this about us. All right, let's go show their ass.
That's what brings me back to another story TJ was telling. Like, Chad did all that shit talking before the game, but he said Chad on the field wanted to be their best friend. He wanted to be real nice. TJ's like, I didn't shit talk. He was like, but when I got on the field, I fucking shit talk. He was like, I shit talk. To the field. TJ's like, I shit talk the fucking fans. He was like, I told a fan one time, the fan was heckling me. He was like, hey, don't be mad at me. Is that your girlfriend there? Yeah, because she wants to fuck me. He was like, your girlfriend would fuck me. He was like, ask her. He was like, tell her, honey. Tell him, honey, you'd fuck me, wouldn't you? He's like, I used to fuck with the fans so much. And then there's that time where he wiped his ass with the terrible towel. He said, it was like, would you get that towel? He was
he did the shoes.
He paid a fan $100 for that towel. He said he paid a fan $100. He said it was not scripted. He said he had that towel. Marvin Lewis come and jerked it off out of his pants. Like, give me that fucking towel. You ain't doing that. And he said he went back later and he jerked it out of Marvin Lewis's pants, and he put it in Hugh Jackson's pants because they always have it. And then he was like, it was spontaneous, just jerked it out. But yeah, he was telling us how he fucking heckled the fans. That was funny as shit.
I mean, Aaron here is trying to give us a roast session, I think, man. He says, you look like a sexual tyrannosaurus.
That's me, a little long.
And then I look like I'm ready to go work for Chippendales.
Grr. Yeah, peep the fit.
Rawr.
Peep the
That's
fit.
probably why we lost, because that damn mailman was at the game.
Yeah.
I know people love him. He's full of positivity, all that stuff, but
I don't hate him, but I just his gig, like, peep the fit. Grr.
Yeah. It's not for me, right? It's not for my demographic personally.
Right.
Yeah.
Garrar. Uncle Gary, am I doing it right? Garrar. It's all fun though, mailman. Don't cut off my mail. I got shit ordered.
Oh, he don't do that no more. He's a comedian now.
Oh, okay. Fuck him then.
Yeah, fuck him.
Still get my mail.
Yeah, we good.
Yeah.
Well, this has been depressing.
Well, what about some positives? Let's end the show. Come on. Some positives, Dale.
Jamar Chase, 2 touchdowns. Looked good again. I mean,
yeah, he did.
I don't think he ever didn't look good. He looked good week 1. He just didn't get – he was doubled a lot week 2, but balled out. Joe Burrow looks good.
Greg's down there. Can't wait. Busting at the seams for a positive. I think I know what it is.
He's been silent all game.
No. The positive, shout out to Pork Chop thank you to your father-in-law, Fred, for coming. Such a nice guy he is. I mean, he was just so happy to be there with his wife. Rained a little bit there, but I mean, for Project Game Day and all that and stuff, it was just an incredible time, and I'm just so happy what we're doing. So and I know Derek's pretty positive right now himself.
Yeah.
I'm feeling great right now, fellas. I don't know.
I bet the fuck you are. Shirt all open, your 3 chest hairs fucking blowing around.
Mims didn't grade out well, Ryan, but like I said, I'm not worried. It's first action coming off an injury and stuff. I think he's going to be fine. And I mean, you've seen a lot of rookie tackles go out there and look a hell of a lot worse than what Mims did. I'm excited for Mims. And Jenkins looked great. Got to get him more snaps, And I mean, I know he's been out, so I'm not mad that it was 42% this game, but damn, that's got to change quick. You're in game shape now. Let's go. need
See
Chris
what Will
Jenkins,
said.
more Lawrence Guy. You know, less Zach Carter, less Jay Tufele. Hopefully, we get BJ Hill back. Sheldon Rankin's back soon.
Must be gambling time. The casino closing or something. You better hurry up, Derek.
I don't know.
Somebody
They're
fall off?
doing some sort of announcement, so I guess I got to go in, guys.
They're like, well, the man that's on the outside the thing, please step back inside the boat.
Huh?
Yeah, that would have
All right,
sucked for Derek,
y'all.
but it would have been very funny for us if he dropped his phone into
Man,
the
that
water.
was quick. I wonder what's going on the boat. Turmoil.
Evacuate.
Yeah, right.
Talk about he's the one who brought up the damn Titanic.
I know. Maybe Crip
Titanic.
helicoptered there and landed on the boat, and they're warning Derek like he is here for your
He's
wife.
here for Sarah.
Yeah, Crip is here for your wife.
Akeem Davis Gaither, that's another guy. I thought he played good.
He continues to play good.
Only
when they
had
put him
11 snaps.
Yeah,
he's
but
gotta
what
play
was his
more,
grade
man.
on
He's
those
good.
11 snaps?
So his overall grade was a 64. Run defense is 67. His coverage grade is 67. Like we don't have we need that. I mean, he looks like a ball player. Get him more snaps, Lou. He needs more snaps. I want to see more Jordan Battle, and I want to see more DJ Turner. I think that there's guys that you can try, right? Got to try him. Got to try something.
Greg gets the ladies. No fooling anyone. He's a beaver slayer. 100. Also, let's not
Got a
forget the
baby's arm
fact
down there.
that last time we were on here, I think someone told Corey Dillon, I will not shave. And that way the Bengals will win. And then
that was
guess
Greg.
what?
Did he shave
happened?
the next
Guess
day?
what happened the next day? He shaved. He didn't make it 24 fucking hours. He shaved. When we went to the Ring of Honor dinner, this motherfucker's face was as soft as a baby's ass.
Couldn't try it for one game.
Not even one. Not even one. Made a promise to Ring of Honor, Corey Dillon, and then for his game, for his day, he can't even get a win because Greg shaved. It's all Greg.
This was funny. I don't know if you guys seen it being at the game, but when they did have that 12 man on the field, like Davis Gaither just tried to go out the back of the end zone. Like,
Yes.
Yeah.
It was like, he was like, shit, I don't know. I'm just trying to do something here. That was
Right.
pretty funny.
Yeah.
All right, man. Anything else you guys want to talk about?
Hey, let's
let me just say, Mike. Go ahead, Greg.
Let's switch over to the Reds quickly. David Bell gone. Maybe that shows signs of life finally.
That was your other show where you guys talked.
Let's see who they hire, right?
Yes.
Also-
no, Dave, let me ask you this: do you hire someone like Barry Larkin, or do you just go completely outside without no officiation of the Reds or anything? Just get somebody.
I'll be honest, I don't know jack shit enough to really have an opinion that anyone should care about.
Right.
But I will say, like, I've seen the name Skip Schumacher, and people said that would be a good hire. So if a lot of people think that's a good hire, let's go get the guy that people think would be a good hire.
All right.
Because Barry Larkin doesn't have any managerial experience, but maybe he would do great. I wouldn't be mad at Barry Larkin because I love Barry Larkin as a player.
Same
But
here.
at the same point in time, I'm like, whoever they think will be the best manager for the team, that's who they need to get. They can't worry about, well, he played here. Fuck that.
Right.
Or Dale can come back as Ashcraft. Let me just say this in my closing thing, and this ain't got nothing to do with the Reds because that's not a show that I was ever part of, was Bengals and Reds and beers or whatever the fuck. I'm just want to say this. I am still in love with the Bengals. All right.
We all
I
are.
am
obviously.
using this as therapy to get this shit off of my chest and vent. And if anybody wants to hit me in the DMs or write on my Twitter page or whatever and vent with me, that's fine. I know that some fans want to find the positives in every goddamn thing that happens out on that field, but I have a fucking hard time. I came home last night. I normally would have rewatched the game on TV to see what was going on. I couldn't do it. I normally would have watched like James Rapine doing his after game show and stuff. I couldn't do it. I did manage to, as I got in bed, watch Joe Burrow, but as soon as YouTube went to commercial, I turned it off because I just couldn't do it. I took an extra benzo to go to sleep. The team, I told my wife when I came home, what's wrong? I'm like, I let sporting events rule my emotions too much. I let sports rule my emotions too much because, I mean, this is like I take this shit like a pet died or something, you know? That's how I feel it. Like it's totally draining to me. We're so excited about the season. We're 3 games into the season. We haven't won. We're 3 games into the season. There hasn't been a great performance. Even the one where you said it's a great performance doesn't count because it's an L. So
At the end of the day, yeah.
As
I just want to say I do love this team. I will never be a fan of another team. I might like other players on other teams, but I will never fucking root for another team besides the Cincinnati Bengals.
Yeah.
Unless
I will get on here and
it
bitch
benefits
and
them.
vent. I will
Right.
get on here and bitch and vent every fucking day. But when the game comes on Sunday, I'm
right.
going to cheer my ass off for the team.
We're fucking, no matter what you hear on here, we are all the time Who Day, every day.
As I tweeted last night, I will always love this team, and I'm going to stick to that.
But we're fucking realist here. We're not.
I'm going to criticize what I feel like needs criticized. Always,
if you're looking for
always.
positivity after a loss, this probably ain't your show. But subscribe anyway. But subscribe anyway. Just hit subscribe.
Yeah, subscribe. Just don't watch after a loss.
Don't watch. Subscribe and comment every once in a while. Like, fuck you guys, and just don't watch. But I just want to say, like, if you want to come here and you want to hear people bitch, because who the fuck wasn't bitching walking out of that stadium last night? People can go on their podcast today and go, oh, well, we got to look at the positives. It was so good. The offense did great, and we did really good. But the reality is, fuck that game last night.
And the defense gotta fucking find a way to do something, because the way the defense is trending is just not good. And it wasn't good last year, right? Like,
no, 32 or 31, right?
Yeah, like, you can't be near dead last on defense and expect to fucking win anything.
Boom. Here's a win. That's right. We're looking for the positives. Yes, Will. Both escalators were working last night. Thank you, Bengals, for spending that DJ Reader money and getting that escalator to work for that game. Let's see what happens next time.
Yeah, we talked about this, Ross, and like I mentioned his grades earlier and stuff, but yeah, he looks completely washed, man. He just does. And the problem is, Osai don't look any better. You're literally like, you got to pray that Murphy comes back and
you know,
and is
that's not bad on him. Sam Hubbard's getting he's played here for a long time. He played for Marvin Lewis.
Yeah. Shout out to your career. But, you know, you can't just ride with the guy and give him 75% of the snaps for what he did
happened
2 and 3 years ago.
Yeah, I'm 52, Sam.
Yeah,
I'm 52. Shit happens. I can't, play football like I used to either.
Yeah.
It happens.
All right, man. Well, I hope everyone enjoys the rest of their week. We'll be back on Friday to preview the Fighting Andy Daltons versus the Cincinnati Bengals.
The Bengal killer.
Panthers showed signs of life. Andy Dalton had a great game, so it should be fun to break down who they got. And, I mean, they have weapons. They added Deontay Johnson. They still have Adam Thielen there. And they drafted Xavier Legette, who I was really high on coming out of South Carolina. So Andy's got some weapons, man.
I think Thielen might be out for a couple of weeks. I think I just saw.
Well, it don't matter, man.
It don't matter.
It's Andy. It's grilled cheese.
Grilled cheese.
Right.
I ain't saying nothing about no grilled cheese.
I love grilled cheese, to be honest.
Yeah, I do too. Actually, he's like the best grilled
cheese.
No,
that's the grilled cheese is not bad, but
he's like a Jeff Ruby grilled cheese.
Ever. We're comparing him to the best grilled cheese.
He's a Jeff Ruby grilled cheese.
We're not giving any bulletin board material.
He's a Philly cheesesteak when he plays the Bengals.
I mean, he's a
chopped cheese sandwich.
That's better. Chopped cheese.
He's the chopped cheese sandwich when he plays the Bengals.
Yes, he is.
From Daylily, yeah.
All right, well, time to go drown myself or something because
we'll be back to preview the next game against the Red Rifle on Friday.